Hello, I see you're back for more arsenic and old lace. That's great. Things get pretty exciting in Act Two, as you shall see right now.
And so our murderous aunts and the delusional Teddy host the unlikable Jonathan and his pet plastic surgeon for dinner. And so far, family solidarity has prevailed, but Abby and Martha are anxious to see the last of their guests. Teddy has decided that Dr. Einstein is the Army General that Roosevelt had appointed to supervise the building of the Panama Canal, despite the gender disparity. And he's gone up San Juan Hill to find photographic proof. And there are no new corpses, at least not yet. Arsenic and Old Lace, Act Two.
Well, Jonathan, I see you have had a very interesting life, but we really should not have allowed you to stay so late.
I'm unable to move a muscle. The pot roast was delicious.
Yeah, it's nice here.
We're sure you're thinking of moving on.
I found it, Jonathan. I have my biography. Here's the picture I was telling you about, General. Here we are, both of us, President Roosevelt and the General at the Panama Canal. That's me, General, and that's you.
Oh my, how I've changed.
Well, you see, that picture hasn't actually been taken yet. We haven't even started to work on the canal itself. We're still digging locks. And now, General, we will both go to Panama and inspect the new lock.
No, maybe we go some other time. Panama's a long way off.
Nonsense, it's just down in the cellar.
The cellar?
We let him dig the Panama Canal in our cellar.
As President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand you accompany me on the inspection of the new lock.
Teddy, this is ridiculous. Go to bed.
I beg your pardon. Who are you?
General Patton, go to bed.
No, you're not Patton. He hasn't been made a general yet, but your face is familiar. Let me see. You're not anyone I know. Perhaps I'll meet you later on my hunting trip to Africa. Yes, you look like some thug I might have met in the jungle. I've got it. You look like that scoundrel Harvey.
I'm getting very tired of hearing that.
Perhaps you had better go to bed, Teddy.
Yes, and Jonathan and his friend have to go back to the hotel.
Indeed. Then I will give them a presidential send-off.
Alas for the aunt, Jonathan, never an upright citizen at the best of times, senses an opportunity to get Teddy out of the way and pressure his aunts into letting him stay.
Yes, General, it might be a very good idea to go and inspect the canal.
All right, Mr. President, we go to Panama.
Bully, follow me, General. It's down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
And accompanied by a bewildered and slightly drunken Einstein, Teddy goes downstairs to Panama.
And Abby, I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke about a hotel. There will be no hotel.
But there's a very nice little hotel just 3 blocks down the street.
And Martha, this is my home.
But Jonathan, you can't stay here. We need our rooms.
You need them?
Yes, for our gentlemen.
Are there lodges in this house?
Well, not just now, but we plan to have some.
And my old room is still free.
But Jonathan, there's no place for Dr. Einstein.
She'll share the room with me.
No, Jonathan, that wouldn't be proper unless you're married. You just can't stay here.
Remember this afternoon that as a boy I could be very disagreeable. It wouldn't be very pleasant for any of us if...
Oh dear, Abby, perhaps we better let them stay here tonight.
Well, just for overnight, Jonathan, but then you must leave.
That's settled. Now, if you'll get my room ready.
Very well. Come along, Martha. We'll be back momentarily, Jonathan.
While the aunts reluctantly disappear upstairs to prepare the guest room, Dr. Einstein has made an important discovery in the cellar, and she comes rushing back up in great excitement.
Hey, Johnny, down in the cellar? Johnny, then I go down in the cellar. What do you think I find? The Panama Canal. It just fits Mr. Spinalzo. It's a hole Teddy dug, 6 feet long and 4 feet wide.
A grave-sized hole down there?
Yeah, it's just like they knew we were bringing Mr. Spinalzo along. Your aunties, that is hospitality.
Rather good joke if my aunts had been living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
So, how did we get Spinalzo in there?
We can't just walk him in through the door. We'll drive the car up between the house and the cemetery. When they've gone to bed, we'll bring Mr. Spinalzo in through the window.
After reluctantly tidying up the guest room, Abby appears at the head of the stairs and calls down to her unwelcome guest.
Jonathan, your room is ready.
Then you and Aunt Martha run along to bed. We're moving the car up behind the house.
For that car, it's all right where it is until morning.
I don't want to leave it in the street. Come along, Doctor. And you two go back upstairs and get to bed. Come on, Einstein. We'll go out the front door and bring Spinalzo in through the window.
Okay.
Dr. Einstein and Jonathan slink out of the front door, leaving the two worried aunts alone.
Oh, Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, we're not going to let them stay in this house more than one night, that's for sure.
But what are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, Mr. Hoskins. Well, it can't be very comfortable for him. That poor dear. And he has been, oh my gosh, he has been so patient. Well, I think Teddy had better get Mr. Hoskins down from downstairs right away. Teddy, come up from Panama, please.
Headed right up. Huh. The general was very pleased. He says the canal is just the right size.
Teddy, oh, Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, this will be a shock to the general.
Then we mustn't tell her about it.
But it's her department.
No, we mustn't tell her. Why, Teddy, it would just spoil her visit. We must keep it a secret. Do you promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now let's see how are we going to keep it in a secret.
Well, now, Teddy, you just take the poor man down to Panama. Now, go along, please, Teddy.
And we'll come down later and hold services.
You may announce that the president will say a few words at the funeral. Where is the poor devil?
He's in the window seat.
Good God, it seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Teddy opens the lid of the window seat and contemplates the body of the unfortunate Mr. Hoskins, and then he hefts him down the cellar stairs to Panama. Abby and Martha are relieved, but still anxious.
Thank goodness for that. Now, if we could get Jonathan and that Einstein out of the house. Jonathan, you're back. Well, please don't use that window. Could you please use the door like a Christian?
Abby springs back in dismay as Jonathan looms in at the window. He's accompanied by a large bag.
Out of the way, Aunt Abby. Why aren't you in bed? They're going to bring the luggage through here.
But really,
Martha, did you hear me say go to bed? Get going now. I'm sure you don't want me to come in and make you.
Martha and Abby go slowly upstairs to bed, terrified but unbowed.
Shut the bedroom door. Thank you.
All right, Johnny, we get Spinalzo down to Panama.
I'll get the window open. You go around and hand him through.
No, he's too heavy for me. You go back outside and push. I stay here, I pull. Then, together, we get him down to Panama.
Jonathan slinks outside without unfortunately checking to see who might be abroad in the night. In the meantime, Dr. Einstein fumbles with the window.
All right, I got this window seat open. Johnny, is that you? You got Spinalzo? Oh, good. Okay. Alley, oop, oop, oop. Wait a minute. You lost a leg somewhere? Oh, whew. Now I got him. Come on. Ugh, that was me, Johnny. I slipped.
Be more careful.
Well, the shoe, she comes off. All right, Johnny, I got him.
Hello?
Oh, Johnny, somebody's at the door. Get in here, quick. No. I manage. I put Spinalzo in the window seat.
Miss
Come here.
Abby? Miss Martha? Is everything all right? Who is it? Who's there? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
Elaine Harper. I live next door.
What are you doing here?
I came over to check on Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Rather late for a social call.
I think you'd better explain what you're doing here.
We live here.
No, you don't live here. I'm in this house every day and I have never seen you before. Where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done to them?
This is Dr. Einstein, and I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, so you're Jonathan.
I see you've heard of me.
Yes, just this afternoon for the first time.
What did they say about me?
Only that there was another brother named Jonathan. That's all that was said. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll just be running along home. But if you would kindly unlock the door.
Why did you come here at this time of night?
Weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car? What else did you see?
Just that. That's all.
In the cellar, Teddy has completed the excavation for the new lock. Flushed with triumph, he trudges upstairs to report the good news.
General.
Oh, crap. All ships safe in the canal. I'm coming up. Well, the lock is ready.
Teddy, tell these men who I am.
Eh? Why, that's my daughter, Alice. Nice to see you, my dear. But you aren't needed here. I've got to go upstairs and change for the funeral service. Can't attend the graveside service without a top hat. Charge!
No, Teddy, please come back.
Cellar with you, woman. You don't know what you've seen.
Together, Jonathan and Dr. Einstein shove poor Elaine into the cellar and bar the door. The rumpus attracts the attention of the aunts who come to the head of the stairs.
Help! Help!
What's the matter?
What on earth is happening down there?
We caught a burglar. We'll handle this. Go back to your room.
Help! Abby, let me out!
Awash in indignation at this abuse of their famous hospitality, Martha and Abby bustle downstairs.
Well, someone is locked in the cellar. I never. This is most unhospitable.
Jonathan, step away from that door.
Why, it's Elaine.
Elaine!
Oh, thank goodness, Aunt Abby. Thank you so much.
Why,
What?
it's
It's Mortimer again.
What the hell's going on?
Mortimer, thank God. Where have you been?
At the Schubert Theater. Heck of a waste of time. And who the hell are you two?
This is your brother, Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
Come back home, Mortimer.
Who did you say this was?
It's your brother, Jonathan. He's had his face changed, and Dr. Einstein did the operation.
Jonathan. You always were a horror. But do you have to look like that scoundrel Harvey Weinstein?
I've had enough of hearing this.
Easy, Johnny, easy.
Mortimer, have you forgotten the things I used to do to you when we were boys? Remember the time you were tied up to the bedpost, the nails under your fingernails?
My God, it is Jonathan. Yes, I remember. I remember you as the most detestable form of animal life I ever knew.
Now, don't you boys start quarreling the very minute you see each other.
There won't be any fight, Aunt Abby. Jonathan, get out.
Out of your life. Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Oh, well, it's just for tonight, Mortimer. It wouldn't be very nice if we went back on our word.
All right. Tonight. But the first thing in the morning, out. Where are they sleeping?
Well, we put them up in Jonathan's old room.
That's my old room. No, absolutely not. They can sleep down here.
No, absolutely not.
Johnny, we have to sleep down here.
You bet your life you have to sleep down here.
See, you sleep on the sofa, I sleep on the window seat. You know, the window seat.
The window seat. Hoskins. Oh, well, let's not argue about it. The window seat is good enough for me tonight. I'll sleep on the window seat.
You know, Johnny, all this argument, it makes me think of Mr. Spinalzo.
Oh, yes, Spinalzo.
And the penny drops. Spinalzo is in the window seat. Jonathan hasn't survived this far in his life of crime without a lively sense of self-preservation.
Mortimer, it really isn't necessary to inconvenience you like this. Einstein and I will sleep down here.
Come along, Johnny, we get our things out of the upstairs room.
Wait a minute, Doctor. Who's this Mr. Spinalzo?
Oh, just a friend of ours Johnny's been looking for.
Well, don't bring anyone else in here.
It's all right, Johnny? We packed and go upstairs now.
Einstein scuttles upstairs, followed by the reluctant Jonathan.
Thank God they've gone upstairs, Mortimer.
What's the matter, dear?
They almost killed me.
You've almost been... Abby! Martha! You didn't give Elaine any wine!
No, it was Jonathan.
Jonathan gave her wine?
No, he mistook her for a burglar. He stuck her in the cellar, but I let her out.
No, it's more than that. He's some kind of maniac, Mortimer, and I'm afraid of him.
My darling, you're trembling. Aunt Martha, have you got any smelling salts?
No, but do you think some hot coffee or perhaps tea might help?
Coffee. Make some coffee for me. It's after 12, and I've got 12 bodies in the...
What?
Elaine, you've
12,
got to go
12
home.
of what?
We'll make some coffee for the both of you. It won't take very long, and we'll open a nice bottle of wine. Come on, Martha, let's go along to the kitchen.
No wine.
Mortimer, what is going on in this house? You were supposed to take me to dinner and the theater tonight, and then you called that off. You asked me to marry you, and I said I would, and 5 minutes later, you threw me out of the house. Now, tonight, just after your brother tries to strangle me, you want to chase me home. Now, listen, Mr. Brewster, before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
I love you very much, Elaine. In fact, I love you so much, I can't marry you.
Have you gone crazy?
Not yet. It's just a matter of time. Insanity doesn't run in my family. It practically gallops. There's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. As if Wes Craven wrote Mary Poppins.
Now, darling, that's just because Teddy is a little, let's say, odd.
No, it goes way back. The first Brewsters, the ones who came over on the Mayflower, you know, in those days, the Indians used to scalp the settlers. That Brewster used to scalp the Indians.
Mortimer, that's ancient history.
It's the whole damn family. My grandfather tried his patent medicines on people to be sure he wouldn't kill them. And half the time he did.
He wasn't that crazy. He made $20 million.
And then there's Jonathan. He tried to kill you.
But he's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
And there's Teddy, too. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt. No, dear. No Brewster should marry. I realize now that if I'd met my father in time, I'd have stopped him.
Now, darling, all that doesn't prove you're crazy. Look at your aunts. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And the sanest, sweetest people I've ever known.
Well, even they have their peculiarities.
Yes, and what lovely peculiarities. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
Look, Elaine, you've got to go home.
Maybe you're not going to marry me, but I'm going to marry you. I love you, you dope.
Well, if you love me, will you get the hell out of here?
That does it. Of course, dear. Good night, dear.
I'll call you in a day or two.
You critic.
In high temper, Elaine slams out the front door, and I must admit to having some sympathy for her. In his distress, Mortimer is treating her quite badly.
Now, I've got to get that fool Hoskins out of the window seat.
Up until now, Mortimer's acquaintance with corpses has been limited to Mr. Hoskins, and so it's with little trepidation that Mortimer raises the window seat only to discover...
Who the hell is that? Aunt Abby! Aunt Martha! Come back in here.
Yes, dear. What is it? What happened to Elaine?
You promised not to let anyone in this house while I was gone.
Well, Jonathan and Dr. Einstein, well, they just walked in.
Well, then who's that in the window seat?
Mortimer, we told you that's Mr. Hoskins.
It's not Mr. Hoskins. Just you look.
Of course. Who is that?
Are you trying to tell me you've never seen this man before?
I certainly am. Well, this is a fine howdy-doody. It just seems like anybody can come in here and walk into this house and just drop a body off any old where.
That's another one of your gentlemen.
How can you say such a thing? That man's an imposter.
Then where is Mr. Hoskins?
Teddy took Mr. Hoskins to Panama.
Oh, you buried him.
No, not yet. He's just down there waiting for services, the poor dear. Well, we haven't had a minute with Jonathan in this house. Oh, dear, we've always wanted to have a double funeral, but I will not host services over a total stranger. I'm going to get Martha, and I am sure she will agree with me.
Abby speeds off to the kitchen, considerably upset. Jonathan has been lurking upstairs, and he chooses this moment to creep softly down the stairs and into the living room.
Oh, Mortimer,
Yeah?
I'd like to have a word with you.
A word's about all you have time for, Jonathan. You and your doctor friend going to leave this house fast.
It's true we can't live under the same roof, but you've arrived at the wrong solution. Take your suitcase and get out.
Move on, Jonathan, or I swear
I'm staying. You're leaving. Not convinced? Just take a look in the window seat.
So this was you.
And it could be you. I've lived a strange life, Mortimer, but it's taught me one thing: to be afraid of nothing.
Highly indignant at the intrusion of an unknown and unwanted corpse, Abby drags Martha in from the kitchen to look at the body in their window seat.
Follow me, Martha. Just look and see what's in that window seat.
Yes, Jonathan. Let Aunt Martha see what's in that window seat.
Oh, my land, of all the cheek.
And Abby, I have very good news for you. Jonathan is leaving. He's taking Dr. Einstein and this cold companion of theirs with him.
I don't like to criticize a member of the family, Jonathan, but this gentleman looks like a Yankee to me. I'm sure he'd be more comfortable elsewhere.
Jonathan, you're my brother. You're a Brewster. I'm going to give you a chance to get away and take the evidence with you. You can't ask for any more than that.
Oh no? I can ask for a great deal more than that.
That does it. I'm calling the police.
Don't reach for that telephone. You can see what happened to Spinaldo. He attempted to reach for a telephone back in Indiana.
Oh, my goodness. Now, who could that be? I'll get it, Abby. Oh, why, Officer O'Hara, how nice to see you.
Hello, Miss Abby. I saw your lights on and I thought there might be a cup of coffee and a donut. Oh, you have company. I'm sorry I disturbed you.
Let's
You remember my nephew Mortimer?
Sure do. How's it hanging, Mark?
And this is another nephew, Jonathan.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. Well, it's been nice your nephews visiting you. It must be nice having your nephews visit you. Are they coming to stay with you for a bit?
I am staying. My brother Jonathan is just leaving.
You said your name is Jonathan Brewster. I've met you before, haven't I?
I'm afraid not. Jonathan hasn't been home for years.
No, your face looks familiar to me. Maybe I've seen a picture of you somewhere?
I don't think so.
Yes, Jonathan, I'd hurry out of here if I were you. Your things are all packed, aren't they?
Well, you'll be wanting to say your goodbyes. I'll be running along.
Have a cup of coffee with us, O'Hara, and come along into the kitchen.
With the police and the aunt safely out of the way, at least for the moment, Mortimer takes his chance to get rid of his lethal brother once and for all.
I'm glad you came back to Atlanta, Jonathan, because it gives me a chance to throw you out. The first one out is your friend, Mr. Spinalza.
Hey, Mr. Brewster, come join us in the kitchen.
Coming right out, O'Hara. Get going now, all three of you. I've got the cop out of the way, and I'll keep him in the kitchen. You heard him. Get out before he sees your ugly mug on the wanted wall at the precinct. You got 5 minutes. Then I'm coming back with the law.
Mortimer slams into the kitchen, determined to keep the rightfully suspicious O'Hara from getting a closer look at Jonathan.
Doctor, this affair between my brother and me has got to be settled.
No, Johnny, we got troubles enough. Your brother gives us a chance to get away. What more can we ask?
You don't understand. This goes back a good many years.
No, Johnny. Let's get going.
We're not going. We're going to sleep right here tonight.
There's a suspicious cop in the kitchen and Mr. Spinalzo in the window seat.
Spinalzo's all he's got on us. And as soon as you operate on my face again, that cop won't know squat. We'll take Spinalzo down and dump him in the bay and come right back here. Then if Mortimer tries to interfere...
Oh, now, Johnny.
Doctor, you know what happens when I make up my mind.
Yeah, then you make up your mind, you lose your head, and so did 12 other guys. Atlanta, this is not a good place for you.
And you think Atlanta's any healthier for you?
Fine, okay, we got to stick together as long as we don't stuck in the Huskow together. So if we're coming back here, do we got to take these suitcases with us?
Oh, leave them here. Hide them in the cellar. Get down there fast.
You want to help me? No, so not fine. I'll be right back.
Einstein lugs the suitcases down to the cellar, but it doesn't take her long to make a startling discovery, and she races back upstairs in great excitement.
Hey, Johnny, come quick.
What's the matter?
Well, you know that hole in the cellar?
Yes.
We got an ace in that hole. There's another body in there. Come on, I'll show you.
Einstein pulls Jonathan to the head of the stairs, and she hugs herself in glee.
Well.
I'm back. 5 minutes are up. Jonathan. Still here, I see.
Yes, Mortimer, still here.
You think I'm not serious about this, eh? You want O'Hara to know what's in that window seat?
Be my guest.
All right. You asked for it. This gets me rid of you and Officer O'Hara at the same time. O'Hara, come in here.
Just a moment. If you tell O'Hara what's in the window seat, I'll tell him what's down in the cellar.
Cellar?
There's an elderly gentleman down there who seems to be very dead.
What were you doing down in the cellar?
No, no, what is he doing down in the cellar?
Now, what exactly were you going to say to O'Hara? He's back. Here's your chance.
Tell your aunts thank you for the coffee, Mr. Brewster. I need to call in, and I'm pretty sure I've seen your brother's face somewhere before. It's bugging me. When I get back to the station after my foot patrol, I'll ask around.
Certain that there's a bit of a mystery here, O'Hara leaves to go back to the station.
You hear that, Jonathan? You're toast if he sees that mug of yours. I'll go and make sure he stays gone. When I get back, I'll expect to find you gone.
I won't look like Weinstein for very long, Jonathan. Take your best shot.
Mortimer leaves in a hurry. Events are getting way out of hand.
Oof, we are alone. We get to stay now, Johnny. Thank God. As soon as I get a chance, I operate. Tell you what, this time you pick your new face.
We'll wait for Mortimer to return, Doctor. I've waited a great many years for a chance like this.
Oh, we got him right where we want him. Did he look guilty or what?
Have they gone? Oh, we thought we heard you leave. If you're still here when Mortimer gets back, why, he won't like it.
Oh, he'll like it. He's gonna love it.
You go back to bed. We'll bury Spinalzo in the cellar.
Oh, no, not that.
He cannot stay in our cellar. You have got to take him with you, Jonathan.
There's a friend of Mortimer's downstairs waiting for him. A friend of Mortimer's. He and Mr. Spinalzo will get along fine together, since they're both dead.
They must mean Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You know about what's downstairs?
Of course we know what's downstairs. And he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
Your gentleman?
And we won't have any strangers buried in our cellar.
But Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins isn't a stranger.
Besides, there's no room for Mr. Spinalza. Well, the cellar's crowded already.
Crowded? With what?
There are 12 graves down there.
12 graves?
And that leaves very little room, and we're going to need it.
Do you mean you and Aunt Martha have murdered?
Murdered? Certainly not. Why, it's one of our charities.
What we've been doing is a mercy.
So you just take your Mr. Spinalza and get out of here.
You've done that here in this house, and you buried them down there?
Ha! Johnny, we've been chased all over the world. These two ladies, they stay right here in Atlanta, and they do just as good as you do. Ha ha!
What?
Well, you got 12 and they got 12.
I've got 13.
No, 9, Johnny, you got 12.
13. The Spinalzo, then the first one in London, 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 2 in San Francisco, and 1 in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix?
The gas station. The 3 in Chicago and the 1 in South Bend, that makes 13.
9, but you can't count the one in South Bend. He dies of pneumonia.
Wouldn't have gotten pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
9, Johnny, he dies of pneumonia. He don't count.
Counts with me. I say 13.
9, Johnny, you got 12. They got 12. These old ladies, just as good as you are.
Oh, they are they? Well, that's easily taken care of. All I need is 1 more. That's all. Just 1 more.
And after safely seeing O'Hara back to the precinct, Mortimer returns.
Well, here I am.
Just 1 more.
End of Act 2.